Hello friends, welcome to okayazure. In this video, we are going to talk about virtual machine. So we are going to create a virtual machine in Azure cloud and we'll do RDP. We'll access that particular virtual machine through the local system. Okay. Now, actually there are multiple ways to create a VM in Azure cloud. One is you can go and make use of Azure CLI. Azure CLI is a command based tool where you need to type all the required command to create a virtual machine in Azure Cloud. Similarly, we can make use of Windows PowerShell, which is a inbuilt utility in Windows OS. So it comes by default. You don't have to install PowerShell. And again, here also in you can just type the required commands to create VM. Right? But Windows PowerShell commands are slightly different from Azure CLI command. Okay. The next approach is you can go and make use of Azure Cloud Shell. Cloud Shell is again a command-based tool or a utility where you need to type all the commands required to create the VM. Now, apart from all these approaches, there is one more way to create virtual machine in Azure Cloud. That is by going through the portal provided by Azure. So here is the address of that particular portal. It's called portal.azure.com. So in this video, we'll first go and log into the portal, portal.azure.com, and then from there, we'll create a virtual machine. And in the end of the video, we'll RDP to that particular VM. Okay. So that being said, let's begin the video. So here is my browser and I'm going to open the portal, the website, and the address is portal.azure.com that you can see in the browser address bar, right? I'm just going to hit enter. Now here I have to log in my Azure account. So I've already put my email ID. I'll simply go and enter my password. Okay, so this is the home page of portal.azure.com. We'll talk about the navigation menu in the coming videos. The intention of this video is to create a virtual machine. So here you can see that I have an option to create a virtual machine from here, or either I can just go and type here that I want to create a virtual machine. So it's here, right? So I'll just go and click here, virtual machines. So now here in the left hand side, you can see there's a plus and there's a text called add. So basically it's a add button. I'll simply click on this one and I choose virtual machine. So basically now we are going to create a new virtual machine. Okay. Now first tab says basic. So here I have to put the basic details which is required to create the VM. For example, it says that I have to first go and choose my subscription. So basically currently I'm using free trial version, but for you it could be different or could be same, right? So you have to go and select your available subscription. For me, I just have one, so I'll pick this one only. I'll keep as it is. Now the second thing, I have to go and create a resource group. Now what is a resource group? Group, you can think of it as like a logical container which will keep all your cloud resources, right? So we'll talk about resource groups, but for now let's go and create a new resource group. So I'll call it as my lab RG. So lab resource group. So basically I'm just going to put all my resources under this particular resource group. Now the next thing is here I have to give my virtual machine name. So I'll just call it as lab VM. Again here also you can put whatever name you want or you like most. Now resin is like one of the important thing. So basically whenever you go and create a virtual machine, you should always prefer the location which is next to you. For example, for me, East US is better. If you guys are in Canada or India or in some other country, you just go and pick the location which is close to you, right? So I'll simply keep this location as East US as it is. I'm not going to change. Now, there is another option called availability options. So if you just go here, you will see there are two options available. One is availability zone. Okay, let me just show you here. Availability zone. Here I have to choose the limit. So basically the maximum is 3 or I can just go. The cloud itself is divided into geographical locations, and in single location there are multiple availability zones, or you can say in one geographical location there are multiple data centers, right? And you can go and just pick maximum 3 data centers. So basically when you create a virtual machine, your virtual machine will be created in 3 different data centers, right? So it depends on the on your business requirement, but for now we are okay, we are not going to choose anything here. Let's see the second option, which is availability set, right? So here are, okay, now first understand what is availability set. It means the number of instances can run in your cloud or at one particular location. For example, if I go and select the create one, now you see fault domain there are 2, update domains there are 5. So it means that in case of there is a problem, there is like something went wrong, I will have 2 VMs as a backup to support my applications. And when we have update domains, it means like you have, for example, you are going to upgrade your web server or your applications or your website on one particular server. Apart from that, you have 4 other domains, like 4 other instances of your application running in the background to serve your customers, right? So we'll talk about these fault domains and update domains later in the coming videos, but for now you just take it that you can just consider availability set is like the number of instances of your virtual machine. Okay, so for now I'll just go and pick the first one, no infrastructure. And here second option, now the next option is image, which is very important. Here you have to go and select the operating system that you want to install in your virtual machine. So in this video we are going to talk about a Windows server, so I'll just go and pick Windows 16 data center. There are so many available, right? Now Azure spot instances I'll keep as no. Next one is size. So if you see, wherever you see red, these is asterisk icon, so these options are very important and critical. So you should be careful while selecting these options. Now next one is size. So when I say size, I have to go and select my VM size. So if I click here, I can see that there are a couple of options available. One is standard DSV2, standard D4S, standard E2, like, and here you can see the price next to it. So if the one which I selected is the basic version, and it will just cost me $13 in a month. The other options that are available to me are a little bit costlier. Why? Because you can see the difference here. For my basic version, I just have one CPU core and 1 GB of the memory. But if I go for the next option, in here I have the same, like one virtual CPU, and I'll get more memory, which is 3.5 GB. But if I go further, I'll see that I have got 4 like virtual CPUs and 16 GB of memory, and I have to pay $351, and that's like this one, right? So there are a couple of options. Again, it depends on your business requirement, but for the development purpose, or for the test purpose, you can just go with the very basic one. Okay, now but for this video I'll just go and okay, I'll keep as it is. Okay. And now here I have to give the username and password, because this is going to be a Windows machine, we should be able to access, right? So we need to create user profile here. So I'm just putting user ID as Azure user, and password I'll enter something which I like. Okay, so if you will make a mistake, it will say that your password should follow, it should be plus 12 characters, and it should have 3 combinations, like lowercase, uppercase, or numeric, something like that, right? So you should have 3 classes. Now we are good with the account. So this is my admin user account to access my virtual machine, which we are going to cover. Now this inbound port rule, this is very important area which you need to understand. So when I say public inbound ports, so let's just keep this one as it is. I want to select, if I go and select none, so nobody can access my machine, it is not available to the public. But if I go and select the second option, it says allow selected port, it means I am allowing few port numbers so that I can make use of those ports to connect to my virtual machines, right? So if I go and see here in the drop down, I see there are 4 ports available to me. One is HTTP, HTTPS, like, so HTTP, the port number is 80. For HTTPS, the port number is 443. For SSH 22, and for RDP 3389. Now, as I told you earlier, in this video we'll create the virtual machine and then we'll RDP. So we need to have this particular port open to that particular machine, to our virtual machine. So I'll just go and select this one, RDP, and the port number is 3389. Okay. Now let's go to the next option, which is disk here. So here I have to choose the disk required for my virtual machine. So if I go here, I can see that there are a couple of options. One is standard STD, which is a hard drive. Then we have standard solid, and then we have premium. So for this video, again, it depends on your business requirement. There are benefits for each one. So for this video, I just go and pick the premium SSD. Now, encryption type, if you see encryption at rest with the platform managed key. So there will be a default encryption applied to my data, which is stored on the hard disk. Okay. Now I'll just go click on next. So next tab is networking. Here you can see things as it is default. I'll click on next. Management, I'll keep all the options as it is. It says diagnostic account, I don't boot diagnostic, I don't want. So in case if you want these logs to be written somewhere, you can just go and open these options. So in case something happened with your VM, you can trace the logs like where and what happened. Next tab is advanced. Let me just go click here next. Advanced, I will keep the things as it is. Here in this tab, it allows you to install plugins that you want to be installed on your virtual machine. So either you can like simply go and select the plugins that you want to install on your virtual machine from here only, or you can install those plugins later as well. Like once you are done, once your VM is ready, you can log into your virtual machine and then you can install whatever plugins you want. But for now, I'll just keep as it is. I'm not going to install any sort of extension as of now. I'll click to the next tab is tags here. Now this is very important tag, you should understand. So basically, for example, I want this particular VM for my development environment, so I'll just call it as environment and I'll call it as development, so that I need this particular machine for my MENT development purpose, and I'll define who is the owner of this particular VM because uh, yeah, because this particular guy will be charged. So I'll just put as okayazure, or you should give your head of the department who is going to charge for this particular VM, right? Now the next step is review and create. So this is very important. Here you will review all your options. Now it says that the option which I have chosen, I have opted the basic one. So the price is very less. It's just like less than $1 for an hour, which is very less for me because I've opted the very basic version of the hard drive. Now here I can review all the things which I opted. So this is the very important phase, right? It says like basics. The very first step was basics. So here you can see all your details. Disk, we have opted the premium SSD one. Networking, so here, so creating a virtual network, it takes time. So I just opted the very basic one. Like I just opted the default settings, but we'll talk about virtual networks in the coming videos. Management option, I have disabled everything. This is you need like when you want to trace. So basically this will create diagnostic logs of your virtual machine. Advanced option, here you can just go and install the plugins or extensions whatever you required on your VM. But here as part of this video we have just selected none. Here I have put the tags and there are other things. So yeah, now I'll simply go and create. As soon as I click on create, it will just go and create the virtual machine for me. So here you can see it is initializing, it's doing something. So I will see a notification here. You can see this little icon, right? Notification icon here. Once your VM is ready, you will see the message here also, and you will get a notification saying your virtual machine is ready. If right now, if I click on this one, now here you can see the deployment is completed. Or here also you can see that your resource is ready. Now let's go to the home page. Home here. I'll just go to the resource group as I told you earlier. Resource group is where you will have all your computing resources, right? So resource group is a logical container which keeps all your resources. Now if I go and click here in the resource group, I can see that there is one virtual network, there is one VM called lab VM, and there is like IP, network security groups, and there are other things created to RDP this machine. Now let's go and click here because I need the IP address of this particular VM so that I can RDP. So here you can see this is your public IP address. So now you can make use of this IP address to access or to connect your virtual machine. So I will just do mstsc. Okay. Here I'll put the IP address. Click on OK here. So here I'll put my Azure user and the password which I created. One. Let's go. Yes. So now you can see here is our machine. This is what we created. A brand new virtual machine, a brand new Windows system. Okay. And as you can see, nothing is there. It's completely blank, brand new system. Okay. Now I can make use of this machine or I can do whatever I want. I can make my machine a server where I can deploy my applications, or I can use this machine just like a normal Windows machine. You see here, you have all the options available. Okay, so this is what we have learned in this video, that we created a new virtual machine through Azure portal. Now, so one thing which you keep in mind, that if you do not use any resource on your cloud, it's better to clean those resources. Just delete those resources, then only you will save your money, else you will be charged. So for example, I just wanted to create this particular virtual machine for this demo purpose. I'll simply click on cancel. Now I do not want this machine. If I'll keep this machine here on my cloud, okay, so what I will do is I will just clean up my resources. I will just delete this particular virtual machine. So what I will do is I'll just go to my resource group, and I know that this is the resource group where I have all my components created pertaining to my virtual machine. So I'll simply go and delete here. It says delete resource group. So this will delete everything which is there in this particular resource group. This guy is asking me to enter the resource group name just to verify that I'm deleting the correct one. And if I click on delete, it will delete all these things, all the components like my virtual network, my VM and disk which is there, network interface, public IP address, network security group, and everything. So it will delete all these components, right? I'll simply click on delete because I don't want to keep this resource on my account, because if I'll keep it, I will be charged. So I'm done with the demo, so I'll just delete. Now you can see here this is in progress. So I'll see a message as soon as it is done. So like if you guys are doing a development, so it's really a good practice to clean up your resources as soon as you are done with the usage or you are done with the resource. Just get rid of, just go and delete that particular resource. So in this way you will save money. So it's a deleting all the resources. Okay, so yeah, again it will take some time to delete all the resources. Now you can see that I have got notification saying deleted resource group lab RZ. Now if I'll go and see here inside the resource group, I should not see. Okay, let me just refresh actually. I just refresh. So now you see, I don't have that particular group anymore called lab RZ. So we have deleted the group, we have cleaned up all the resources. And so in this video, we have learned how to create a Windows based virtual machine through Azure portal. In case if you have any questions, just let me know in the comment section. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you for watching and please do subscribe my channel. Bye.